Hello, everyone. This is Coach Clayton, and this is my Women's Empowerment Interview episode. And today we have Heidy. Hi, Heidy.
Hello.
As our guest, and she is going to discuss her journey of overcoming personal and professional obstacles in her life. Hello again, Heidy.
Hello.
Heidi, just to give you an idea, I created this podcast to provide a little inspiration in this world, especially for women, seeing that there's so much going on in this world. So, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much for hosting me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's just dive right in. This is just an informal chat. Where do you want to start? What personal or professional obstacle would you like to discuss to provide a little inspiration?
Yeah, definitely. What came to mind was when I was in a bad relationship, in a toxic bad relationship, and it was in my early 20s. And it's something that I thought at that time that was love. And it wasn't until I realized, I'm not happy. I am angry all the time, arguing all the time. I don't feel like I'm being valued. And until I really got into a really close relationship with God, that I was like, this is not for me. This is not what I need. And I was really struggling into leaving that relationship because that's where my daughter was, product of that relationship. So I wanted to keep my family together. I was like, you know what? I don't want her to have another man in her life that's not her dad. I want to break the cycle, because my parents were divorced. And, a lot of my friends' parents were divorced. So it's like, I don't want to be part of that stigma. But then I started thinking, do I want her to see her mom angry all the time, arguing all the time? Do I want her to see an unhealthy relationship and think that that's the norm and think that that's what's normal, and then have her do the same thing? So then that's when I really was like, okay, no, it's better to be a single parent and be happy than be in a unhealthy, bad relationship and be miserable. So I finally, got the courage to call that relationship quits. And then, it was just really hard because, I was in that relationship for 6 years and it was all I knew. It was all I was used to. And I was really young. You could say that was my first love. So, and you thinking this is what love is, this is what I deserve, this is what, you always hear you go through ups and downs in relationships, but it's like, infidelity is not something that you need to go through,
Exactly.
You don't need to go through infidelity. You don't need to be looking through your partner's phone to see if they're texting other people. You don't need to be asking them where they're at constantly, or having them just be out constantly and then you're at home. What are they doing? That's not an ups and down that you need to go through in relationships. The ups and downs that you go through in relationships are the struggles of life. And you go through them together, and you go through them together, and then you overcome them together. That's the ups and downs that, relationships should go through. And a lot of times I say I regret, my past and what I went through and this and that. But my now husband always reminds me, is you needed to go through that to get to where you are today. You needed that. That's part of your story. That's your path. And, looking back, it is something that I use my story to help other women, especially because when you have gone through infidelity and cheating and betrayal, you can get very bitter. And your heart can grow very bitter and be like, no, forget love. That's not real. That's all fake. Everyone's getting cheated on and everyone's getting played. And I was like that for a while, for a little bit, but then I was like, that's not me. That's not my heart. I truly believe in healthy relationships. I truly believe in healthy marriages. I truly believe that you can have two people who are faithful to each other, who are committed to each other, who respect and love each other, and are there to support each other. And so I started praying for my future husband. I found a prayer on Pinterest, and it was about that. It was exactly that. It was like, dear future husband, and I would pray that on a daily.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing you know, I met my now husband, which I was not looking for. Yes, I was praying for my future husband, but I was thinking more like, 5 years down the
Mm-hmm.
line, something like that. But he came along I find like at the perfect moment, because I feel like God knew when to place him in my life.
Yes.
And luckily I'm now in a healthy marriage. No infidelity. I don't have to be like, checking up on his phone,
Mm-hmm.
knowing where he's at, and things like that. So this is the relationship that I want my daughter to see and know, and see that like this is how it should be. It's two
I
people
love
who
it.
love each other, who are committed to their goals together, to their life together, to their kids, because now we have a baby boy together.
Nice.
So it's just like that example that I want her to see, because
Mm-hmm.
our first loves is our dads, right?
Mm. Oh, yes,
Yeah,
Heidi.
yeah.
Yes, please go
So
there.
yeah, so our first loves is our dad, but unfortunately, a lot of us have, daddy
Mm-hmm.
issues and daddy
Yeah.
wounds and everything. So I grew up with my father,
Mm-hmm.
but we didn't have, excuse me, I'm sorry, we didn't have a very close relationship growing up. We were always fighting and bickering.
Mm-hmm.
We're closer now that I'm older and I'm at the house and everything. But growing up, we were always at each other's throats and head and
Mm-hmm.
everything. And there was a lot of generational things that he would say to me.
Yeah.
And I've written about this in my blog. And he would, it's just things that like he's heard in his past
Yes.
and so on. So then he brought it up to me. And so it affected my self-esteem, my self-worth,
Mm-hmm.
and my self-value. And that's why I feel like I lasted so long in that toxic relationship, because I felt like that's what I was worth at that time,
Mm-hmm.
until I got a relationship with God. And then I was like, no, I'm worth more than this. Like,
That's
I
right.
deserve better. But yeah, it all stems from, your childhood and the things that we go
Mm-hmm.
through when we're smaller. And I'm just glad now that I'm able to see my value, see my worth, and then pass that on to my daughter. It's like you
Mm-hmm.
don't need to put up with
Yes.
toxic men, toxic
Yeah.
people, toxic friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know your value, know your worth. And I always try to speak life into her too. You're
Yes.
beautiful, you are worthy, you are
Mm-hmm.
smart, you can do it, you can do anything. I remember
Mm-hmm.
I try to speak so much life into her that I remember one time, her and I, my daughter and I, she's 8 by the way.
Yeah.
We were She was doing something and we were just like getting on each other's nerves.
Yeah.
And I told her to do something and she acted like she didn't know what it was that I was asking her. So, just out of the frustration, I was like, "Why are you acting stupid?" And she was kind
Mm-hmm.
of like, "Mom, you called me stupid."
Yes.
And I
Yes.
was like, "No, no, 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 no." I said, "I did not call you stupid. I said, why are you acting stupid?" And
Mm-hmm.
it's not, and I don't talk to her like that at all.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Yeah.
very, very particular to speak positive into her. And so, like, after I settled down my emotions, I sat down with her and I was like, you know what? Let me explain what happened. It's not that I called you stupid. It's just like I had asked you to do something and you were like, you didn't know what you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
But those are my bad words. Like, those were my bad
Mm-hmm.
choices of words. So I apologized to her. And, like, since then we haven't had that, because I was like, okay, no, like, I try to speak so much life into
Yes.
her that, like, that slip up, she was like, oh my God, you called me stupid. I was like, no,
Mm-hmm.
you're not. But man, I feel like I just went on and on and
No,
on.
I love it. I love it. And I think you're amazing because you really sit down and you reflect on what you're going to do different for your daughter. I can tell. I
Yeah.
absolutely can tell.
I I wrote
Yeah.
I wrote a blog about that too. It doesn't come out until June, I believe. And it's
Okay.
like that. It's how I'm trying to break generational cycles.
Yes.
I call them cycles instead of curses,
Okay.
because I feel like our generation is learning, or like unlearning and then
Yeah.
relearning, and
Yeah.
trying to make our children better. Because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times, it's like my grandma did this and then my mom did it and then so they did it to me, but it's like it doesn't have to be that way. You know, like now we are the generation that's learning. It's like it doesn't have to be that way. That's
Yes.
all. It all stems back just, I don't even want to get like too deep into history, but it all just stems back of just a generation of not knowing better. Pretty much, you know,
Yes.
not knowing better. I try not to like spank my child, right? I don't see a
Mm-hmm.
problem. I honestly like
Mm-hmm.
discipline. I don't see a problem if they're, you know, if you're doing it for discipline. But there's a difference between discipline and just spanking and just,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, growing up, my mom, I could tell that she was spanking me just because, you know, just because she could,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. Take
And you
out the
could,
frustrations on you.
yes, yes, exactly. And
Yes.
it's like
And
you
that
can
was
feel
okay
it.
back then, but not now.
Exactly. And then it's like you can feel it. You can feel it. It's like, okay,
Yes.
you are just beating me just to
Yep.
beat me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, when she was younger, yes, I would put like discipline her and spank her and everything. But lately I've just been able to just talk to her. And the difference that I
Yes.
do is like I talk to her about my feelings and I
Oh.
try to value her feelings as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I let her know if I'm having a bad day. Like,
Yeah.
okay, mommy didn't sleep well, or mommy's having a bad day. She has a headache. So I may not be on my best today. And
Mm-hmm.
also to value her feelings because just like we get up,
Yes.
like just like we have bad days, we have a lot of emotions. Our kids do too. So
Yeah.
one day she came home from school and she didn't want to do anything. And I was like, what's
Mm-hmm.
going on? Like, talk to me. She
Mm-hmm.
just told me I don't feel like I just don't feel like doing anything. And I was like, okay, well, one thing I do need you to do is go take a shower. Like right after school, you gotta go take a
Yes.
shower, and then you can go do nothing, you know. But I need you to
Mm-hmm.
go take a shower just because of everything that's going on outside. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it's just
Wow.
it's a lot. It's the reflection that you mentioned that I do is because I journal a lot. So I write a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things down. So I write prayers, I write poetry, I write ideas. So I write it
Yeah.
all down, my goals, what I'm going to, the steps that I'm going to take towards those goals.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I can look back and reflect on that. So like
Mm-hmm.
for example, I like look back and it's like, wow, 6 months ago, I said I was gonna do this and that. And then I
Mm-hmm.
can check like, okay, I was able to do this. I
Yeah.
was not able to do that, but I was able to do something else, you know, kind of like that. So
Exactly.
yeah, so the reflection, I do a lot of it. I used
Mm-hmm.
to do a monthly basis, but now I kind of do yearly. And since
Okay.
I'm a blogger, I'll do like a yearly reflection, like, okay, this year we overcame XYZ,
Yeah.
and you know, next year these are my goals. So
I love that. I love that. How important do you think it is to know yourself and to deal with your inner child work before you get into a relationship?
oh, that is very, very important.
Mhm.
Very important. I would say that I'm not a good example because I did a lot of the work while I was in a
Yeah.
relationship with my now husband.
Mhm.
I I realized that I was very moody, right? I was very
Mhm.
moody, very up and down, and I had always heard that I was just like that. Like that was just my
Yeah.
personality. But then I was like, I can't bring what happened in my old relationship into this new relationship. So what
Yes.
I ended up doing was actually going to therapy while in
Nice.
this relationship. So because I was like, okay, if I want to this one to work and be healthy,
Mhm.
I need to work through myself, right?
Yes.
I definitely agree that you should do it before getting into a new relationship, although I did it while in a new relationship. And then luckily,
Mhm.
my husband was very understanding and very supportive too.
Mhm.
But definitely knowing yourself, taking time for yourself to, I guess, detoxicate, right? From
Yes. I
that
like
previous
that.
relationship, so then you
Mhm.
can bring freshness into this new one. Because if you just go from relationship to relationship to relationship, you're just
Mhm.
bringing baggage from one to another, and it's just
Mhm.
an unending cycle, like, you know.
Mhm.
And yeah, so definitely take time for yourself, do things that you like to do,
Yeah.
take yourself out on dates. If you can be with your by yourself comfortably, then you can be
Mm.
with somebody else.
I love that tip. Heidi, I love that tip. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, what would be your advice to a young woman that was in your shoes years ago that they may be going through infidelity, and they're young, and they have this child that they want to keep the family together, but they are absolutely miserable. Okay.
Yeah.
What would be your advice?
My advice would be there is someone out there for you. This is not the person for you, because the person for you will not make you feel insecure, will not make you feel unworthy, will not make you feel like you're not smart. The person for you will support you, will love you, will lift you up, will encourage you, and will definitely not make you feel any less than what you are. Unfortunately, there's a lot of, narcissistic people out there, a lot of selfish people who like to take advantage of, kind hearts, who like to take advantage of caring people. And that's not the type of people that you need around you. And it can be hard to recognize, because for me, it took me years to recognize. It can be hard to recognize, and it can be scary to break away from what you've always known. But just know that on the other side of that, it's so much better. It's like a breath of fresh air, like difference of like when you're with someone who you're supposed to be with, in contrary of being with someone who is just not for you.
I love that advice. I love that advice. What advice would you give dads? Ooh, especially the ones that are just, there are dads that are reflective, but there are dads that are just following generational, this is what we're supposed to do, and this is what we do. What's your advice to them to raise healthy girls and boys?
Yes, I say that dads matter.
Yeah.
They really do matter. I know we're so used to the women being the backbone of the family and like carrying everything and the burden in the family, but dads matter too. They're very important in the family dynamic. Yes. They teach girls, right, daughters, how to be loved, how to be treated. And I just feel like if they can be involved as much as they can, just because it just makes such a difference in kids' lives. A lot of people have daddy wounds and daddy issues, but I have mommy wounds and mommy issues, which is actually not talked about a lot. But I feel that, yes, the fathers try to be involved as much as you can in your children's lives. It's important. Their role is important. Their relationship with their kids is important. There's certain things that fathers teach that women can't. As much as we want to play both roles, as much as maybe we have to play both roles, there's just certain things that come from a father.
Yes. So absolutely. Absolutely. Now, tell me a little bit about your business.
Okay. So I have a few projects going on. Okay. I just started a t-shirt business in March. And with that, what I'm trying to do is just, make statement tees. I find that t-shirts are very popular. So just, trying to get like some humor, some faith-based, some are geared towards women, some are geared towards men, some are geared toward both. So just trying to get, trying to like hobby base them. So we have like a shirt for traveling. We have a shirt that says plant mom, because I've noticed that a lot of people are now like, just plants, like they just take care of the plants. So just, a lot of different things. We also make custom t-shirts. So if anybody has like an idea that they want on a t-shirt, we can do those as well. I'm trying to also branch out to brands. Like if they need their logo on a shirt or something, we do those as well. I was actually able to collaborate with a podcast. So I created they sent me their logo, but I was able to create the designs and everything for all 4 of the members, which was really cool. So I have that, and then I sell journals and notebooks, because since I'm a big journaler, I have a prayer journal, and then I have a Into My Thoughts journal, which is for like creators. So it can help you like write down your projects, help you reflect at the end of the month to see if you made all your goals or what you need to adjust for the following month. And then actually yesterday, I just created a gratitude journal. So I'm waiting for that to be approved and then get that distributed out.
Mm-hmm.
So the gratitude journal I find very important just because, sometimes we have bad days, and if we can just pause and reflect on what is good, what is going
Mm-hmm.
on that is good, we can shift our change from the negative to
Mm-hmm.
a positive and then finish the day on a high note. And then just trying to find a little things to be grateful for every day. So it's just a,
Mm-hmm.
a journal to help with that. Let's see, I have a podcast where
Ooh,
I speak with immigrants
okay.
of their adaptation to living into the US compared to
Mm,
what country they came from. So I have two episodes out now. The third one comes
nice.
out on Tuesday. Yeah, so I've been able to connect with a few people from different countries, which has been really cool. And just
Yeah.
hearing their stories about how they came to the US and the culture shocks that they experience here,
Mm-hmm.
and just them adapting to living here, because it's not easy to leave your home country looking for a
Mm-hmm.
better life and adapting here, trying to learn the language because English is not easy, trying to
Yeah.
just navigate the culture here, because it's a lot different here than when you go travel. Even when you travel, like, you can tell just the major differences between the United States and other countries. So
Yes.
I have that going on, and then I also do interviews on my YouTube. So
Ooh.
I interview women,
Mhm.
just seeing what wonderful things they're doing in their life. So
I
giving
love
them
it.
a medium just for them to share their stories, what they're doing. For this month, for the month of May, is mental health awareness. So I'm bringing
Yes.
extra content. So next week, I'm going to post a talk that I did with a mental health counselor.
Nice.
She gives tips on mental health. And
Okay.
I just published a talk yesterday with an author. She's a
Okay.
poet. And
Mhm.
we talked about how writing has helped us with depression, with overcoming depression, anxiety.
Yes.
So yeah, so I think those are pretty much all the projects that I have going on. I've had people reach out to me asking for help, getting them started on podcast or
Mhm.
journaling and things like that. So I've been thinking of maybe starting to add those services as well.
Nice.
But yeah, so that's
Wow, you are an ambitious woman, Heidi. That's for sure.
thank you, thank you.
What would be your biggest takeaway advice for business for women?
Do it. Do it.
Mhm.
There's just so much opportunity out there,
Yeah.
and it is slow at first. It is
Yeah.
very slow at first.
Yeah.
But if you truly, truly believe in your business and what you
Mhm.
want to bring out to people, keep going.
Yes.
Because I've heard over and over again, it takes 10 years to become an overnight success.
Thank
It
you.
it takes
Thank
10
you.
years. And if you truly believe in your passion and what you want to do, those 10 years will be nothing for you.
That's
And the next
right.
thing you know, you'll look back and it's like, wow, like I remember 10 years ago when I
Yeah.
started, I had nothing and everything. And then you can see just how far you've come. And
Yes.
God will place the people that you need, the customers that you need,
Yeah.
because if it's truly your passion and what your heart is calling you to do, then
Mhm.
it's going to be successful, and success is different for everybody.
Exactly. You are truly an inspiration, Heidi.
Oh,
Truly. How can we find you online?
yes, so the best place would be on Instagram.
Okay.
It's at Heidi, Heidy,
Mhm.
period, and then my last name De La Cruz, which is DeLacruz 13. And there I have a link on my bio that has everything. It has my
Good.
YouTube, my blog, my journals, my t-shirt business. So the best way is for on Instagram.
I love it, love it, love it. What is your last piece of advice that you would want our viewers to remember you for?
I want everyone to win. I want everyone to live their best life, be unapologetically themselves. I probably messed up that word, but be yourself. And it's scary to put yourself out there, but when you do what you love, then
Mhm.
you're unstoppable. Nothing can stop you because you're doing this. You know why you're doing this. It's because you love it, and if you love it, you don't feel like it's work. So yes, I have a
Yes.
bunch of things going on, but I truly believe in what I'm
Yeah.
doing, so it doesn't feel like work. And
Mm,
just life is short too. Life is too short to be
yes.
living for somebody else, to try to have approval of other people. Just do
Mhm.
it for you. Do what makes you
Yeah.
happy. Yeah.
I love it. You just your energy, very genuine, very warm. I love it. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
so much for taking the time out to chat with me.
Oh, no, thank you for hosting me again. This has been great. I love this.